vital and we're making it count. Doing what we can to show them who we are now. Okay, 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 yeah, yeah. Don't aim for the clouds, we gotta shoot for the stars. We got tonight, yeah, yeah, we got tonight. We got it going on and we're feeling alright. This is our time, okay, now is our time. We're doing what we want and we're feeling alright. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 we got it going on and we're feeling alright. Hey, yeah, yeah, we got tonight. We got it going on and we're feeling alright. This is our time, okay, now is our time. We're doing what we want and we're feeling alright. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 we got it going on and we're feeling alright. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 we're doing what we want and we're feeling alright.
Il Tour Music Fest in 3 parole.
Vai, tutto molto figo. Passione, lavoro e divertimento.
È magicamente stupendo. Esperienza di vita.
Formazione, lato umano, vera musica.
Buon pomeriggio a tutti gli amici del Tour Music Fest. Mi presento, sono Nadia Stacchini, sono la Project Manager e International Partnership Manager del Tour Music Fest ormai dal 2008 e sono qui per darvi il benvenuto al primo appuntamento formativo con la miglior scuola di musica al mondo, ossia Berklee College of Music. Ma prima di cedere la parola ai nostri coach protagonisti di questo pomeriggio formativo, volevo darvi un po' di aggiornamenti sul TMF 2022. Vi voglio ricordare che questo è solo il primo di un fitto programma di appuntamenti e vi consiglio di andare a visitare il nostro sito tourmusicfest.it per poter notare tutti gli appuntamenti sul vostro calendario. Vi ricordo subito che dopodomani, il 21 luglio, alle ore 21, saremo in compagnia di Paola Folli, una grandissima cantante, vocal coach e formatrice, e sarà con noi proprio per parlare di canto, della voce, della produzione e molt'altro. Il 25 luglio, sempre alle ore 21, avremo la possibilità di incontrare la presidente di giuria del Tour Music Fest, ossia 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃. È una grandissima artista, produttrice di tantissimi artisti come Justin Bieber, Jason Derulo, Eminem e ultimamente 𝗬𝗄𝗃 col suo ultimo album 𝗕𝗿𝗂𝗶𝗆 e sarà con noi proprio per parlare di identità artistica e non vediamo l'ora di vederla. Il 25 luglio, sempre alle ore 21, saremo il 27, scusate, alle ore 21 saremo in compagnia di Busta, cofondatore dei Subsonica e chiaramente è un artista ricchissimo dal punto di vista delle sue esperienze, in quanto non è soltanto un cantautore ma è anche un DJ, un musicista, e sarà con noi proprio per parlare di tutte le sue esperienze. E tra poco inizierà finalmente il tour delle live audition del Tour Music Fest e partiremo proprio da Torino tra poco più di un mese. Insieme alle live audition partiranno anche le City Music Camp del Tour Music Fest, le full immersion, le formazioni musicali, e partiranno anche loro da Torino. Quindi, se qualcuno di voi non è ancora iscritto al Tour Music Fest, c'è ancora tempo per iscriversi, quindi basta andare sul nostro sito 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗃 e se ancora di voi, o qualcuno di voi sono già iscritti al TMF, ma non sono ancora iscritti al City Music Camp, le iscrizioni per i nostri camp sono tuttora aperte e potete prendere tutte le informazioni che vi occorrono proprio sul nostro sito 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗃. Vi ricordo che se avete problemi con l'inglese, seguendo le masterclass dalla nostra pagina Facebook, è possibile inserire i sottotitoli automatici. Invece, se ci state seguendo da PC o da Mac, potete aprire una seconda scheda, la scheda ufficiale di Google Translate, cliccare sul microfono e attivare in contemporanea la traduzione dall'inglese all'italiano. I nostri prossimi appuntamenti vi ricordo che saranno tramite Zoom e durante quei appuntamenti sarà possibile avere proprio un interprete e ascoltare la traduzione direttamente in italiano. Allora, diamo il via a questo pomeriggio fantastico in compagnia di Berklee College of Music ed è il momento di far entrare Jason Camilio. Jason, where are you? Welcome. Good afternoon.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for holding this amazing event, and thanks for bringing Berklee back again for another edition. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen that are connecting for this session, Berklee is super excited to be working with Tour Music Fest. Of all of the global partners that we have around the world, they are a unique organization that is invested in your creative growth in artistry, and they've created this amazing experience for you to work with world-class artists and educators and to test your skills against all of your peers in the competition. This is going to be our 5th year of working with you.
Imagine.
And
5 years.
It's incredible. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, actually, we just had the recipients of the Tour Music Fest Awards from last year on campus in Boston for the summer program.
They've just gotten back. They're so excited. They had the best time. It really was just a life experience for them.
So
great.
You know, what you're doing, Nadia, and Gianluca and the team at Tour Music Fest is you're really invested in helping musicians to find their path, to develop their skills to the highest level possible, and to give them the opportunity, right, to showcase what they've been able to develop. And it really creates a special experience. And that's why we're here. And what we've done is this year, we've put together this incredible team of world-class artists, educators, department leaders at Berklee to actually be the coaches for the master classes. And we are psyched. We are like totally psyched. These are people, these are folks who I love their music. I love seeing them work. I love seeing them work with students, and they're just all in, from the moment, from the downbeat. So it's super cool. And I know that you're going to introduce them. We're going to get a chance to kind of get an overview today, a little taste of what it is that they're going to do in their masterclass series as we get into September. So ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. Check out what these artist educators are doing. If I were you, if I were in your seat, I wouldn't miss one of these sessions. I would be at every one of them. And then I'd be back in the Tour Music Fest universe, checking out the videos, attending the Tour Music Fest live events if you can get to those. And then hopefully we'll see you at the competition, maybe in the finals later this year. And we'll see you up on stage performing, which would be a beautiful thing. But Nadia, I'm going to turn it back to you so we can jump into this and really, get these artists to showcase what they're going to share with us. How's that sound?
Definitely. So the first person we'll be introducing today is Mr. Michael Sean Harris, So, Michael, welcome. Welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Tour Music Fest. I'll give a quick recap of who this amazing Michael Sean Harris is before us. Allora ragazzi, se siete pronti, Michael Sean Harris ci raggiunge nuovamente quest'anno, è stato con noi per la prima volta online l'anno scorso, insegnante di tecnico vocale a Berklee, e lui parlerà proprio del metodo di vocal training e quelle che sono le capacità musicali per cantanti, per improvvisazione vocale, come stare sul palco, ma proprio per farvi capire un po', Michael Sean Harris ha sempre avuto una profonda passione per la musica e canta e suona da quando ha iniziato il liceo 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃, dove faceva parte del coro della scuola, e per diversi anni, dal 91, è stato membro del The Little People and Teen Players Club e membro fondatore dell'𝗱𝗂𝗵𝗵 Performing Arts Ensemble. Ora ricopre il ruolo di segretario del Consiglio e direttore della Fondazione per le Ash Company. Nel 96 è stato accettato con una borsa di studio presso Berklee College of Music, si è laureato nel giugno del 2000 con una doppia specializzazione in sintesi musicale, scrittura e produzione contemporanea, e subito dopo è stato assunto come cantante maschile per Holiday on Ice in Concert. Lo spettacolo è stato inaugurato a Parigi nell'agosto 2000 e ha girato l'Europa per ben 3 anni. Nel 2014 Michael ha presentato 𝗽𝗿𝗂𝗶𝗆 al TEDx Berklee Valencia, dove ha introdotto il concetto alla base del suo attuale progetto, 𝗱𝗹𝗶 and 𝗕𝗿𝗂𝗋𝗵, una fusione di folk giamaicano e musica elettronica. Michael, tra l'altro, ha conseguito un master in Music Technology Innovation presso il campus di Valencia del Berklee College of Music in Spagna e ha lavorato come consulente accademico per l'African Music Institution di Libreville-Gabon. È un ex preside e direttore degli studi per la School of Music dell'Berklee College e ha anche insegnato voce, pop jazz e armonia jazz e ha scritto corsi di tecnologia musicale e performance per i loro corsi di laurea. Ed è specializzato anche in performance e design procedurale e tecnologia musicale. Nel 2020 ha lanciato il suo podcast, Mike's Moment of, che funge da piattaforma per documentare e condividere le storie di alcuni dei famosi campioni e degli eroi sconosciuti della cultura giamaicana. Michael ha recentemente pubblicato il suo primo libro, Mike's Pocket Performance Pointers, volto a migliorare la presenza scenica dei cantanti. La sua ultima innovazione è la scuola online Reggae Online, un portale online di corsi di cultura giamaicana, e Michael è un consulente principale di Digital Rising Stars, in qualità di coach di presenza scenica, e può anche essere visto regolarmente in televisione come uno dei giudici residenti del concorso del coro della high school All Together Sing di 𝗃𝗍𝗃𝗃. Bene, great, I say it's time to start. So, Michael, if this is for you, thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait. If you need anything, Jason and I are both here for you.
Definitely. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. I know there's a lot to happen today, so I'm going to jump right in. And let me see if I can share this. Can we have the slide up? Let me see. No. Oh, there. Yeah, help me. Help me with the there you are. Great.
There you are.
Awesome. Okay. So for the sessions that are going to happen in September, we're going to be covering a few things. And there's about 4 sessions that will be happening. And the first one, we're going to figure out who you are, who you are as an artist, as a person, how you want to communicate that to other people. And we're going to talk about your vocal interpretation. So with your vocal interpretation, we think of a few different things. We think of, what is your style? What style, what do you love? What do you feel passionate about? What is this style? What is it? What do you listen to the most? And what style communicates best who you are to your audience? We will also look at finding an appropriate song. If you're not writing your own songs and you're going to be doing songs that other people have written, or other songs that have already existed, hit songs, not so well-known songs, but they communicate who you are, then we'll examine that. We'll explore that as well. We talk about, key considerations. Sometimes people think that every song that exists in the recorded key is the way they should perform it. And that's not necessarily so. You want to tailor what you're going to perform to you, to your instrument, to your performance, to your voice, to your stage presentation. We'll even talk about arrangements, and I'm sure other people will talk about that as well with you, but we'll talk about it from a vocal performance and vocal interpretation perspective. And we'll explore your voice even more. And for this first session, I want to invite you, so I'm going to give you homework from now. Come to that session with your initial ideas, with the things you're thinking about performing, the things you're thinking about doing, and why you're thinking about doing them. And we can discuss that, we can explore that and make suggestions, give you feedback, and see how that goes. So the next session, just let me sing for you, right? So the next session is the vocal performance. Now, sometimes we grow up imitating other people, our favorite artists, we try and sing like them. Even sometimes when we're not sure that we don't know that we're singing like them, we're still attempting to sing like them. When we have Whitney Houston or Beyonce in our headphones, more often than not, we're trying to emulate Whitney Houston or Beyonce or Bruno Mars. And so we want to look at, who are you? What's your voice? What are the textures and timbres that make you sound like you and not necessarily an imitation of someone else? So we want to play with your sound. We want to explore the different textures and dynamics that your voice can make, and what works for you specifically. So we're going to explore your tone options. We're going to talk about performance and remaining relaxed while you perform. We talk about the differences, because sometimes we look at music videos and we think, oh, but they're not doing that much when they're singing. But there's a difference between when you're in a recording studio or when you're on stage, or when there's a music video, which is a different thing completely. So we'll look at all of that. So we'll explore your range, how high you're going to go, how low you're going to go, and we'll try and find techniques for you to expand that and play around with it and use it in different ways. So for this session, I want you to be prepared to sing. Be prepared to be an example and to try new things. Be prepared to make some weird sounds, make some noises, and be prepared to expand how you think about your voice as completely different to how you used to think about your voice. Good. Next one. Get it together. Stage performance. Now, this is very important because you're in a competition, right? So for Get It Together, all the things that we've done before in the other two sessions. We talk about choosing the songs, about learning the songs. Even in earlier sessions, we talk about memorizing songs and lyrics and those kinds of things. So with Get It Together, we're going to put all of that together. We're going to look at microphone technique, because I think for this competition, it's mostly a stage performance. It's like almost like pop rock performances. So we will talk about microphone technique, how to use the microphone as an extension of your voice. All right, we'll talk about stage presence, stage craft, being on stage, communicating while on stage, communicating with other people while you're on stage, other people who are on stage with you. We'll talk about what you want your audience to feel. What is it? What is the emotion? What is the experience that you want to leave with your audience? This is very important because, audiences, people come to experience someone's performance because they want an experience. They want to be left with some kind of emotional feeling, whether it's happiness or sadness or to be excited when they leave, to be thrilled. So that's your job, to communicate that. We talk about how to practice, different ways to practice, whether, in your costume or not, in your clothes, in your outfits, practice your movements, those kinds of things. And we'll talk about seeing your performance as a success even before you get on stage. We talk about ways that you can visualize what your performance is before you even step foot on stage for the first time. And for this session, we'll be looking at some live performances and some pre-recorded performances of yours, and we will examine it, we'll break it down, we'll analyze, and we'll give feedback on what you're doing and ways that you can make it better. Okay. So then the fourth session is take good care, wellness tips. So we speak about ways to be healthy in your practice, healthy in your vocal practice and your performance practice. Ways to manage your performance, manage your voice, manage your physical body, because your body is your instrument as a singer. So a lot of things that affect the voice, affect the body, affect the voice. So we'll go through all these little tips and things you should be aware of, things you should be mindful of when you're looking to become a performer that can perform at all times, can perform anytime, and still be healthy and still be consistent. I love to bring up that I think Nadia mentioned that I was with Holiday on Ice, and that show that we did, we were on tour for 3 years, and for the 3 years we performed that show over 600 times. But every audience is not the same. It's not the same person coming 600 times. Every audience is a new audience. So every time you get on stage, there's somebody new to connect with, to communicate with. So we'll talk about that. So we'll talk about stagecraft and taking care of yourself as a performer and as a singer. So with all of this, I would like you, even though this is a competition, because we're all coming to these workshops together, you can learn from things that are said directly to you, but you can also learn from things that are said to other people. So when someone else is up and they're sharing their music or their performance and they're getting feedback, pay attention to everybody else, because there's information that will be said to them that you can apply to yourself as well. Be open. Be supportive of each other, even though it's a competition. Be open and supportive, because that's the best way we have to live and to get ahead, right? We never get ahead by tearing each other down. So it's always by being supportive, and see your progress, see your success before it even happens, and be positive. So that's it. If you can connect with me on these sites. I'm really, really excited to get going in September, and I hope you are too. So I look forward to it. Nadia, thank you so much. Hey, Jason.
Thank you, Michael.
Good. Sorry, I had to unmute. Go ahead.
I'm so excited. And what you were talking about now of being able to, even if it is a competition, it's so important, to support other artists and to share and to learn from them and be supportive and be there for each other. And it's also a great way of creating, new collaborations and finding new people to work with. So it's something that we always push our artists to do during our courses. When we're just auditions, we want them to be supportive of each other. So thank you so much for pointing that out as well. Jason, I don't know if you've noticed so many comments with Michael here.
Yeah, it's blown up. It's really, there's a lot of activity here in the chat, and it's really great to see because folks are very thoughtful in their comments. So, Michael, I think you're going to have a great group of people bringing, their voices and to your sessions, and it's really cool that you're looking to make these interactive, not just sort of one-dimensional. You're talking to them, but what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to do this in Zoom, and Berklee has had really great experience actively using Zoom as a medium to engage with you, to do vocal coaching, to have a conversation with Michael. You can actually talk to him. It's not going to be typing, though. If you want to type, you can. but you can have a conversation with him, get feedback on what you're doing. Hopefully we'll be able to hear your music and hear your performances, and again, just give you those guiding points that are going to help elevate your musicianship, not just for the short term here, but for your career. Look at this as another step in your overall progress as an artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Voglio ricordare a tutti gli artisti che appunto i prossimi appuntamenti saranno su Zoom, e proprio in caso di questi appuntamenti con Michael ci sarà la possibilità di condividere la propria musica, e vi daremo indicazioni su come farci avere la vostra musica per poterlo fare ascoltare da Michael stesso e magari avere un feedback dal vivo. Just explaining that they'd be able to interact with the next lessons during Zoom. Thank you so much, Michael. It really was amazing seeing you. Have a safe trip. You're on your way. You're on your stop off in Florida, on your way to Jamaica.
That's
so have
right.
a safe flight. Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
And can't wait to see you again.
Same here.
Thanks, Michael.
Oh, thanks, Jason.
We'll see you soon, sir.
Yes.
So I see that we're already up to our next guest.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we're not messing around here. We're bringing out the top teachers.
The crème de la crème.
Yeah, these are professors who are loved by our students, and that want to, we take them all over the world to teach at our partner schools, at our partner programs like Tour Music Fest, and they just find such joy in seeing actually musicians of any age, honestly, just find that next step forward. And what's so interesting, Nadia, is we're seeing this all over the world. We're seeing this evolution in the trend of music and performance. And what we're seeing is that people just really want to tell their story. And that means creating their own songs, whatever that is, vocally, with a range of instruments, solo, with rap, with, mixing together all these different genres. And I think the professors at Berklee that we're bringing to Tour Music Fest this year embrace that in everything that they do. They're very open-minded and can work with anybody at any level. And I think that's true of our next artist that we're going to share with everybody. So you want to bring up our next artist?
I think it's time to bring her in. So Sarah Brindle, welcome. Now, let's see where Sarah is. If I lost her, here she is.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Sarah.
Sarah.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. And you've just come back from Jamaica.
I did. For the first time I
Here.
visited. Yeah, I was down there setting up a songwriting workshop, actually.
Oh, that must have been an amazing experience.
It was unbelievable. It was my first time. So, yeah, really, really beautiful place and beautiful.
Love to hear those stories one day.
Yes. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us. Presento al Tour Music Fest Sarah Brindle, lei farà la masterclass appunto sul songwriting, è insegnante di songwriting presso Berklee College of Music, e lei parlerà proprio della scrittura creativa, la struttura della canzone, l'armonizzazione, e parla proprio del viaggio di un brano, il viaggio che fa un brano. Allora Sara, giusto per darvi qualche parola su chi è, lei è una cantautrice, arrangiatrice, produttrice, pianista e cantante, ha fatto tournée in tutto il mondo, ha condiviso il palco e registrato con artisti incredibili come Norah Jones, Carole King, Roll Midden. Le sue canzoni originali possono essere ascoltate in molti programmi televisivi, tra cui anche Made the MTV. È stata finalista al concorso Song of the Year nell'ambito della Save the Music Foundation di VH1 e al Billboard World Song Contest. Laureata con lode alla Boston University, ha conseguito anche un master in educazione musicale. Quindi bene, vorrei dare il benvenuto, welcome. Sarah, it's so great to finally be able to have you here with us.
Buongiorno, everybody. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for coming today. And I'm here to really just give an overview, like we said, of what I'm going to be teaching on September 21st. There are two different master classes that I'm going to host that day. I think the times are to be announced for now, but two different a Google slide now and talk about the first masterclass I'm going to teach, which is called arranging. Let's see if I can get this. If I click it, it doesn't work. Do you have the ability to share the slide? Because it seems to me that I'm not sure how to. Let me see if I can do it this way. Here we go. Sorry, I figured it out. Wait a second. Slides. Wait, no, I'm not seeing my slides now. 1 second. Sorry. Does anyone know? I just want to share the slides. And I'm double clicking it, and it's just making my screen big, and I'm not seeing the slides. Well, perhaps I can share my screen and show it that way. Let's see if that works. Share. Okay, are you seeing this now? Is everybody seeing this? I need a yes or no. Nadia, can you hear me? Ciao. Can everybody see the slides right now? No. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I have uploaded the slides, but I'm not sure how.
By clicking on your sharing screen, it should work.
Yep. Share screen, slides. I mean, if I click on the slides, it just makes
Not clicking on slides, just the share screen.
Okay. Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
And screen 2. Share. Now, are you seeing my screen?
No.
That's very strange.
It was working before. Prima funzionava, abbiamo fatto la prova e prima di collegarci.
Are you able to share the slides from your end?
Let me see. All right. All right. You sent them to me.
Mi dispiace.
Well, you start chatting and I'll see if I can download your.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and talk through what I'm going to teach. The first masterclass is going to be called Arranging in Songwriting, which is basically a chance to learn about all the ways that we can develop parts around our vocal and whatever main rhythm part we're using. So ideally, the students of this workshop would be people that love to write songs and are somewhat proficient with singing or a harmonic instrument or using a digital audio workstation. Those things are going to help you really enjoy this class, because if those are your focuses, you love to sing, you love to write songs, and possibly you have a little bit of a depth, you can work with a program like Logic to record yourself. That's going to be the first step to getting into this workshop and understanding it. Did we get a chance to share the slides, or is it not working?
Jason, do you have Sarah's slides?
I do not.
Oh, here we go. Do you see it now?
I don't
Yes,
either.
you're there. Perfect.
Hey, it worked.
Good.
Okay. I don't know why it wasn't working. I kept clicking, so sorry about that.
Nope, it's great. Yeah, we're good.
Right, so here we go. So arranging in songwriting, I was just talking about, ideally, the students that would take this workshop and their experience level, which can be at the beginner stage of things. If you're a singer and you're, working on chords a little bit, but not that proficient, and maybe you just started working in GarageBand or Fruity Loops or Logic, that's fine. But I think it would be great if you would, between now and the workshop, if you haven't had any experience in a DAW, a digital audio workstation, that you actively start applying yourself and looking at one of those types of programs to help record yourself and multi-track yourself. Because what I'm going to be talking about is basically how to lay tracks in a DAW in a successful way that will help you to shape an arc and shape around the vocal. So I'm dividing this workshop into 4 parts. There's going to be 4 main parts to this, and this is just an overview of those parts. The first 20 minutes we're going to be talking about prosody in songwriting and arrangement. Prosody is all about the connection and the support of everything working together towards a common theme. So we're going to be talking about all the ways that we can support the message of the song sonically with the music that we use. And then the next phase, the next 20 minutes, we will be looking at building basic tracks. When I say basic tracks, I mean bass, drums, main rhythm part, scratch vocal. We're also going to be talking about the 5 feels, which is all about the different subdivisions of rhythm that are in any given song post 1960 rhythm section based music. So we're going to be talking about the 5 basic feels and determining that through your lyric rhythm of your voice. If you're writing with your voice, you can find the feel through your lyric rhythm. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll be also talking about building basic tracks around. So if, let's say you wrote the song with just vocal and guitar, and it's hard to know what else the song should have on it. I don't know. Should it have a piano? Should it have a bass? Should it have drums? Should it have nothing, except guitar and vocal? These are all questions that are absolutely valid. And so we're going to be looking at what are those basic tracks that you want to build around the vocal. The next 25 minutes, we're going to be looking at adding sweeteners, which sweeteners are background vocals, synths, horns, strings. We're going to be looking at the extra tracks that after you build the basic tracks, how do you add extra colors to complete your sonic palette? And we will be talking about the harmonic part functions. And that is any given song has these functions of parts. So we'll be delving into that as well. And the last 20 minutes, we'll be looking at how to create a musical conversation with the voice. We'll also be looking at doing an in-class writing exercise and doubling, catching the same rhythms as other instruments. So that's the overview. The first section, just getting in a little bit more in depth. When we talk about prosody in songwriting, things that we're going to address, supporting the song's message. We're going to be talking about what kinds of instruments to use, be they synthesizer instruments or actual, wood or skin instruments, and how those instruments can best support the overall emotion and message of the song. So we're really looking at like everything supporting everything else. And we're also going to be doing some listening. I like to call it a listening party, where I pick a couple tunes and maybe I'll get a recommendation from the class even of a song that we feel has great prosody. And I will define this term prosody even more so you'll understand what that means. And we'll discuss the tune in all the ways that in terms of instrumentation and production, that everything about the song is supporting what the lyrics are talking about. The next section, building basic tracks and the 5 feels, which I mentioned, we're going to be focusing in on the main rhythm part. So the main rhythm part is the part that you usually write the song with. And that could be a sample in the DAW, that could be a ukulele, that could be a guitar, it could be a piano, it could be anything. So however you wrote the song, you probably accompanied yourself with something. We'll be looking at building those basic tracks, using a scratch vocal to start out, which isn't actually the main vocal that you're going to use. That's like for the radio ready song. It's just the beginning stages so that you can build tracks around the scratch vocal. We'll be looking at drums and bass considerations and conversation between those instruments. We're also going to be looking at rhythmic subdivision, all the different ways that you can express different rhythmic feels around the vocal to make sure that you're matching the lyric rhythm and making sense that everything sort of fits together rhythmically. And we will be looking at some listening examples for that as well, trying to name different feels that we hear. The next section is adding sweeteners and the harmonic part functions. And these are all the things we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. These are all the things we're going to be talking about in terms of adding sweeteners, which are, again, the extra parts, all the other tracks beyond the basic tracks that help build the song over time, create a full arrangement that has dynamics that move from start to finish, that use sectional contrast so we're never getting bored with what's going on because the density changes, the intensity changes, and I'll talk about these terms, what they mean. So we'll be looking at background vocals, we'll be looking at different voicings harmonically to use for background vocals, There's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try to condense it into 90 minutes. The point is I have too many things to say, so we will try to keep it, contained enough, but there's a lot to talk about. The main thing I want to make sure that I impart to all of you is the harmonic part functions, which there are 5, and they are basically the umbrella categories. They're like these main categories of parts. So
Sarah, if I could I'm just gonna bother you for 1 second. Yes. They're asking, the students are asking if you could kindly speak a little bit slower. That way Google can catch your words, because you're too fast for Google today.
Too fast for Google. I started rushing because the Google slides.
It's not me, it's Google this time.
The robots can't keep up with you.
Okay,
thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. So sorry.
No problem. Probably part of the reason that's
Stavo spiegando, ragazzi, ho chiesto gentilmente a Sara di poter parlare un pochino più lentamente in maniera tale che Google possa tradurre più facilmente. Ricordo, per chi non abbia sentito, che le prossime lezioni su Zoom ci sarà l'interpretazione simultanea. È una cosa che purtroppo live sulle piattaforme non si può fare, ma su Zoom sì. E queste puntate comunque sì potranno essere riviste e riseguite in un secondo momento, quindi se volete poi poter rivedere la puntata in maniera tale di poterla comprendere in pieno, potrete farlo. I was just explaining that they'll be able to, if they want to, they can watch this episode again to be able to relive the moment, and they, if they have any problems with English, next time it'll all be simultaneous for them. Thank you. Sorry once again, Sarah, you can continue.
No
sorry.
No problem. And I think probably some of these terms are being defined now by myself and
definitely
Bonnie Hayes. We wrote this class called Arranging for Songwriters online. So some of these terms may not be translatable for Google. You know what I mean? So that might be part of the reason that this is happening. So if anyone has a specific question, they can put it in the chat. If you want to backtrack
Vi ricordo che se avete delle domande specifiche e volete avere delle risposte, potete scrivere sulla chat e io poi provvederò a portare queste domande a Sara. Grazie.
And Nadia, just stop me if there is a question. You can just stop me and let me know. Okay, so in terms of sweeteners, the sweeteners, which I don't know if there's a translation for that. Basically, these are all the different parts beyond the basic tracks of bass, drums, guitar, beyond the basic tracks that help to fill out the sonic palette of your arrangement for your song, and to create a forward motion that builds dynamics from start to finish, keeps your listeners on the edge of their seats. So that's the idea, is that we build sectional contrast between sections. And so there's always things moving and changing with the arrangement so that people are always interested in what's happening next. So we're going to talk about all the ways to do that. The part functions that I'm going to list and delve into for this are going to help you understand ahead of time, before you begin to track and record audio or MIDI. You're going to know ahead of time what function of a part you're going to be tracking. And that's going to really help you to support the main vocal, to keep everything like conversating with each other, making a musical conversation with each other, so that everything supports the vocal and nothing is stepping on one another or getting in the way somehow. So that's we're going to delve into that a lot more within the class, but I'm basically going to give you a definition of parts to take with you so that when you record in the future, you'll feel much more confident about how to do that. The next thing we're going to talk about is the last thing, which I'm going to include an in-class exercise for this. And I'm discussing the idea of doubling with catching accents, basically with rhythms that you already played. Like let's say you have a guitar part on there. How do you double rhythm with that? Versus how do you create a musical conversation with that, in which you play in the spaces of the other part? And that can be after a longer phrase or literally moment to moment rhythmic conversation back and forth. So we will be looking at that together. And I should have showed this sooner, but using phrase spaces, and visualizing the MIDI or audio tracks to see how you create that musical conversation. And then we'll be looking at an in-class exercise where I will ask you to find a song title, and we will look at ways to use instrumentation to spotlight your song title and to create a musical conversation with it, and also to emphasize using doubling of other rhythms, other parts, to emphasize syllables. So we'll be looking at different ways that you can spotlight the main message or title of your song using instrumentation around it, and you will do an in-class exercise for that. And that is the first workshop that I'm going to be teaching. And that's the end of the Google slide part of the presentation.
Wow.
Wow. So that's just the first part. Now I'm going to talk about the creative writing workshop, which is coming up I think that's the second one on September 21st. Jason, is everything okay? Can I keep going?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so for this, this is my favorite thing in the world to do with my students, which is to literally write a song in class. And that's what I'm going to help you to do together with me in a directional way. We're going to have in-class exercises, prompts, where I give you little exercises to do, you carry them out, and you develop songs literally during the workshop. So it's going to be directed, and there's a certain amount of creative direction with it. But then once you take that direction, it's a prompt that basically springboards you into your own creative process and your own flow. So this is my favorite thing to do. I've developed hundreds of exercises at this point in this direction of actively writing music together. So there will be some collaboration involved if possible. It depends on how many students are there. We might be able to use breakout rooms in Zoom, and also we might have the option to have some of you work solo and some of you work in collaboration, depending on your preferences. So I wanted to discuss that more with the administrators of this, but that was the idea that I had. So the best way for me to explain how I'm going to work with you for the creative writing workshop is to give you a sample exercise. I feel like that's probably the best thing to do. So that requires that we're all going to do some writing for literally about 3-4 minutes. It's going to be a directed writing exercise. So everyone who's interested in joining me for this, I'd like you to please get away to do some writing right now. And that can be in Italian. It can be in any language you want. You do not need to be trying to translate in English ever. You can work in your home language. That is absolutely fine. But please do get away to do some writing right now. So that could be a notes app on your phone. Just make sure that you silence the alerts coming in. That could be just open a Word doc or go to a Google Doc. But just get yourselves ready to do some writing. You could use a pen and paper. That is one of my favorite methods of writing. So everyone gather a way to do that right now. And I'm going to talk you through a sample exercise, which I won't be repeating for the 21st workshop, but there will be lots of other exercises similar to it. So you'll get a taste of what I'm about, and you'll get a chance to do one now, which hopefully will be fun for you. So everyone who's here, even the other teachers, if you're listening, I think this is probably more fun if you're actively involved. So you might as well get away to do some writing and join us.
Quindi per tutti coloro che attualmente sono collegati, questo esercizio è per tutti, docenti e non, e siate pronti a scrivere, anche penna e carta vanno bene, va bene anche il PC, ciò che volete, potete scrivere in italiano e in inglese, nella lingua che preferite, ma così facciamo questo esercizio insieme. E questo esercizio non lo ripeterà poi nuovamente il 21, quindi sarà l'unico momento per questo bellissimo esercizio, quindi possiamo farlo insieme. Just translate it quickly for them.
Yes, no problem. And again, I apologize if I start talking quickly. I have too much information.
Chiedo scusa se parlo troppo velocemente, ma ho troppe informazioni da darvi.
Okay, so the first thing I'd like you to do is close your eyes. And after you find your writing tool, you're going to close your eyes.
Quindi
and
chiudete gli occhi.
I would like you to imagine an object or an image.
Immaginate o un oggetto o un'immagine
that immediately evokes an emotion. So this object or image is something that when you think of it, it could be something from your past. It could be something that never happened to you in your life, but still that object or image, immediately you have an emotional response.
Quindi questo oggetto o immagine che avete deve essere qualcosa che vi dà subito, vi fa subito un effetto emotivo, che vi fa provare un'emozione. Può essere qualsiasi immagine, può essere qualsiasi oggetto, però vi deve dare un'emozione immediata.
So, for example, when I give this exercise, I often give the example that I first used when I developed the exercise, which was my grandmother's chair. So my grandmother passed away in 2011, and I was very close with her. She's probably the reason I write songs today. So she used to read to me in the chair when I was very little, and she would read me poetry and all these amazing novels. And so when I think of that chair, which no longer exists in the house, that's no longer there in the family, I have such a strong emotion, right? I feel sad because I miss my grandmother, but I also feel happy because if I put myself in that moment of being in the chair with her, I feel comfort, I feel joy. So it could be a few different emotions that you have. Nadia, do you want to translate that real quick?
Lei dice che il suo oggetto è una poltrona che possedeva sua nonna. Sua nonna era una persona che dentro quella poltrona gli leggeva poesie, gli raccontava storie ed faceva una parte importantissima della sua vita, quindi quella poltrona non esiste più, quella casa non esiste più, però lei quando pensa a quella poltrona tuttora gli evoca sia un senso di tristezza, ma allo stesso tempo gli riporta momenti felici della sua gioventù ed è uno dei motivi per cui ha iniziato a scrivere.
Great. Okay, so hopefully most of you have picked an image or an object. It can be a very simple one like a chair. It does not have to be complex. You could pick the sun if you want. So anything works. So what I'd like you to do...
Qualsiasi oggetto funziona, può essere persino il sole, qualsiasi oggetto che vi faccia sentire un'emozione.
What I'd like you to do now is tell the story around the object or image in any disjointed stream of consciousness fashion. That does not have to be chronological order. Just take your pen to the paper or your fingers to the keyboard and literally just flow out any way you want the story around the object. Oh no, I can't hear Nadia.
Create un racconto intorno a quell'oggetto e non deve essere in ordine cronologico, può essere un flusso di coscienza, ma scrivete adesso intorno a queste parole il racconto di questo oggetto.
As you tell the story, I would like you to put yourself in the environment with the object or image.
Mentre raccontate queste storie, cercate di mettervi insieme nel racconto, insieme all'oggetto.
Experience it with your senses as if you are there with it now.
Dovete sentirlo con i vostri sensi come se voi foste effettivamente lì in quel momento.
What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you touch? Right?
Quali sono gli odori che sentite, i rumori, che cosa vedete, qual è il sapore, come ci si sente intorno a questo oggetto?
Also, what do you feel inside your body? Do you
E
have
cosa provate dentro il vostro corpo?
What do you feel outside your body moving around you?
Esternamente dal vostro corpo, che cosa sentite, quello che si muove intorno a voi?
So from a sensory standpoint, tell the story around the object. I'm now going to give you 3 minutes to do that.
Ora vi do 3 minuti proprio per continuare a scrivere questo, quindi provare a scrivere a livello sensoriale che cosa provate intorno a questo oggetto. Avete 3 minuti.
So if it would be all right with everyone, we could just have 2 or 3 minutes of silence while we get a chance to write. Is that okay?
Quindi saranno un paio di minuti di silenzio. That's fine.
Okay, I will come back in just 2 minutes now, okay?
E Sara tornerà tra noi tra 2 minuti.
Write as much as you can.
Scrivete tutto ciò che riuscite a scrivere in questo tempo.
No need to rhyme or make any sense.
Non dovete fare rime, non deve avere alcun senso, può essere un vero flusso di coscienza.
About 20 more seconds.
Altri 20 secondi.
Great. So I'm sure you only got out a couple words, and that's okay. You will have more time than that in the actual workshop. But
Immagino che siano uscite poche parole, ma non vi preoccupate, durante il prossimo workshop avrete ancora più tempo per poter buttare giù altre parole.
the point of this is to look for symbols, because many times songs use symbols to represent emotions.
Il motivo per cui lo facciamo, che lo faccio fare, è proprio per fare la ricerca dei simboli, perché spesso e volentieri all'interno dei brani si utilizzano dei simboli per esprimere le emozioni.
I'm going to see if I can share my screen, and if it doesn't work, then that's fine. Can everyone see this Word file right now or not? Not working?
Not yet.
Okay. Maybe if I do this? No.
Yep, we got it.
Okay.
Got it, got it, got it.
There it is.
Is it really tiny? Can
Now
you
it's
see?
big.
Ok, we
That's
got
good.
it.
Okay, so this is an example of what I just asked you to do. I had longer than 3 minutes to do this.
Questo è un esempio di quelle che vi ho fatto fare. Qui ho avuto più di 3 minuti per scrivere.
What I'd like you to do is don't look at your own writing for a second. I realize this is in English, so this may be a little bit difficult for some of you to understand. But
Mi rendo conto che è in inglese, quindi magari non è comprensibile al 100% per tutti.
if you understand the words, I would like you to look at them as if they're almost like a pile of dirty laundry in front of you. They're just a bunch of words on a page.
Se vedete le parole, anche le uniche parole che voi comprendete, prendete quelle parole e dovete vedere un po' come i panni sporchi, sono semplicemente parole mischiate insieme.
And your job is to find song seeds in this writing. So you're
E
looking
il
for
vostro
that.
lavoro è trovare i semini per la scrittura proprio dentro questo paragrafo.
You're looking for that one little gold ring in a pocket of some jeans of the pile of dirty laundry. That's what you're looking for right now.
State cercando l'anello d'oro dentro il cesto dei panni sporchi.
I like to speak metaphorically, so I hope that's understood.
Mi piace utilizzare le metafore, quindi mi auguro che sia capita la mia intenzione.
Would anyone like to, in the chat, if you see in this writing?
Could you just could you zoom into that text for us a bit, Sarah? That way.
Let's see if I can. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Is that better?
That looks perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Much better.
Now, I would like you to look this over and see if you can find one word, 2 words, up to 7 words in a row that make you say, oh, that would be a really amazing title of a song.
Ora voglio che cercate all'interno di questo testo 1, 2, 3, 7 parole che potrebbero essere il titolo di una canzone.
Does anyone see any? You can put them in the chat if you see them.
Qualcuno vede una parola che potrebbe fare parte di una canzone? Di un titolo?
I'll name, for the sake of time, I will name a couple that I see. I like Ramona's Dreams.
Mi piace Ramona's Dreams.
I like I'm Home. There's another one called I'm Home. That's really
Mi piace un'altra, Io sono a casa, I'm home.
I like Into the Air. I see Into the Air here.
Into the air, nell'aria, into the air.
I even like Here I Was. I think Here I Was is a beautiful title.
Mi piace anche Here I Was, mi sembra un titolo bellissimo.
So the idea is you're looking for an all-encompassing statement, something that you could write a whole song about.
Quindi state cercando qualcosa su cui si potrebbe scrivere una canzone intera.
Now that you've looked at my words and you have no attachment to my words, I would like
Ora
to
che avete visto le mie parole e non avete un legame affettivo alle mie parole,
now I'd like you to go back to your own words and do the same thing.
ora tornate sulle vostre parole e fate la stessa cosa.
Oh, I love all these examples in the chat.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great ones coming in.
Now I can see them. I stopped sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, really nice. So now do the same thing with your own. You're welcome to put your own titles in the chat or keep
Ora
them.
fate la stessa cosa con i vostri testi e siete benvenuti di scrivere le vostre parole anziché le mie nella chat.
And use Italian, that's fine. It does not have to be.
E utilizzate anche l'italiano, non fatevi problemi.
I'll give you about 10 more seconds to do that.
Vi darò altri 10 secondi per scrivere.
That's wonderful. I love all these. Drunk on a journey. That's fun. Great. Really nice. Into the air. Yep. Orange juice, panic. Wonderful. I love one-word titles. One-word titles are great.
Amo I titoli con una sola parola.
That'd be a great tune. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So in the workshop that I'm going to do on September 21st, we will take this a step further. You will have more time. Then we will look at ways of shaping melody with the words that you find and harmony around it. And it'll continue. It won't just be lyric based. We will move into some musical exercises from there. There will be different ones than we had today. But this is the idea, is that I'm basically giving you prompts, creative prompts, to help write your next great song. And that is my presentation for today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah,
Quindi questa è la presentazione di Sara. Dice che per la prossima lezione, il 21 settembre, prenderà questo esercizio e ci sarà ovviamente un'evoluzione andando a vedere proprio la melodia, la musica, l'arrangiamento, il testo. E questa appunto è la sua presentazione. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was such an exciting exercise to do, and it's so great to see all of these amazing titles.
I'm still seeing them. Really beautiful.
We're still coming up.
Yeah, we lit a fire.
Good. That's the idea.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sarah. We really look forward to your sessions, and it's going to be great for the participants to just kind of get these approaches that you have and some really clear thinking about how they can just be creative through the whole process, the arranging process, but also just from these song seeds that you talk about with the lyrics and just how to build out from that. And that's exactly what we want them to experience. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That was fun.
Thank you again, Sarah, and we'll be seeing you soon enough. So,
all right,
about a month's time. So,
yes,
we're super psyched.
Yeah, me too.
So honored to have you, and I can't wait. What's in store for us next?
See you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the kinds of experiences that we want to create for the participants. We really want them to have the ability to engage with these artists that do this professionally and walk through these steps and have different approaches to be creative. And Sarah does that, I mean, at all levels of songwriting. So it's going to be really cool.
Amazing. Can't wait. Can't wait. That was awesome.
I think our next presenter, our next artist, you know, because there's not just one way to create a song, right? So there's so many different ways. It's
many different ways.
Unique as each person. And I think our next presenter is going to come out and, you know, from a different mindset and show another approach that will really help students think of other aspects of the production of a song.
Definitely. Quindi ragazzi, come dice Jason, ci sono tantissimi modi per scrivere una canzone ed è per questo che è arrivato il momento di introdurre la nostra prossima guest, Valerie Orth, sul processo, la procedura della produzione di songwriting. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can. Yes. Thanks for being here, Valerie.
That's so cool to be here. That was so great. I just sat through Sarah's little workshop there. It was awesome.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah. It's such an honor to be here, and especially alongside my colleagues at Berklee. I don't ever too often get to sit in their classes, so that's really cool.
It must be exciting. Dice che giustamente non spesso riesce a frequentare le lezioni dei suoi colleghi, quindi oltre alla felicità di poter condividere con voi la sua conoscenza, anche la felicità di poter condividere il lavoro dei suoi colleghi. Vi presento Valerie Orth, è una produttrice musicale, cantautrice e attivista, forte e determinata. Il percorso di Orth è poliedrico e abbraccia moltissimi generi. e lei si è sentita a casa sul palco già all'età di 5 anni e si è esibita ben 15 anni di fila nei musical e mentre frequentava la Tufts University passava il suo tempo presso la stazione radio improvvisando sui ritmi di DJ, quindi vi potete immaginare l'artista incredibile che si trova di fronte a noi. E 𝗱𝗃 si è sentita nuovamente a casa quando si è trasferita a New York e si è radicata proprio sulla scena beat femminile e dove effettivamente ha imparato e ha iniziato ad insegnare produzione di musica elettronica. So I would say it's time to present Valerie. It's a pleasure having you and welcome.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm really happy to be here. It's great to kind of sort of start meeting you all. I do want to make sure I get some questions from you today, because as I prepare the master classes for you that will be on September 29th, I want to be able to answer the questions that you have and kind of prepare for where you're at. What's the best way to help you through the process and the journey of a song?
Bene, Valerie, I'll do quick translating for our audience. Valerie è felicissima di incontrarvi oggi, iniziare a conoscervi e sentitevi liberi di fare delle domande nella chat in maniera tale che lei stessa possa creare e lavorare sui prossimi incontri da fare insieme a voi.
And just, since I don't unfortunately speak Italian anymore, although I used to.
Una volta parlavo l'italiano, ma adesso no.
I'm not sure exactly what you told them about me, but just
I translated what you said. Before I got the bio from Jason.
Which bio? Okay, so many bios, so many different kind of journeys I've taken to get where I am now. But I am an independent artist. I've released several albums, toured through the US, written for publishing companies like Warner Chappell Music, obviously performed my music spanning across tons of different genres, like from folk, indie, rock, punk, electronic. I'm mostly kind of electro, alt pop these days. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because the production, kind of the journey of a song, it really doesn't matter what genre you're writing in. And my workshops are on the business of the song. So showing a life cycle of a song, the process of getting it from all the writing that you did, like maybe in the way that Sarah showed you how to do it, and to getting it to heard by the audience, knowing who your audience is and how to best present it to them, how to best get the song to them. So are you going to be translating, Nadia?
I'll translate for you, because this first session, seeing as Google Translate is having difficulty following you guys.
Okay, so maybe I'm
giving an extra translation to make sure that everyone's following you. So I'll just do a rough translation of what you
and I'll try to say less.
Quindi Valerie, lei diceva che il suo viaggio nella musica è un viaggio molto vasto per portarla dove si trova oggi, e ha lavorato sia appunto con i musical, ma ha lavorato anche con Warner Chappell, ha lavorato come produttrice, come scrittrice, e ha lavorato con tantissimi generi musicali che possono essere la musica elettronica, pop, punk, qualsiasi genere, ed è per questo che vuole parlare con voi oggi, perché non ha importanza il genere quando si tratta della vita di una canzone, ma ci sono tantissime cose che compongono quel brano, non solo il testo, ma la produzione, l'arrangiamento, come è stato portato al pubblico, come è stato studiato il pubblico per quella canzone. E quindi Valerie vi vuole poter parlare della canzone da ogni punto di vista. That's it. Done.
Okay. So as an assistant professor at Berklee, I teach music technology in the songwriting department. I teach Ableton Live and Logic Pro, and besides the fact to songwriters, and besides the fact that these are required courses for the songwriting major, having the knowledge and skill to produce your own songs is crucial to being a songwriter today. And Sarah mentioned this, if you are working in GarageBand, that's fine. That will be an easy lead into Logic Pro. If you're more into electronic music, sometimes Ableton Live, or if you're working in Pro Tools. But it's really important, I cannot stress enough, to learn how to produce your own music.
Parla dell'importanza, Valerie, ovviamente di saper produrre la propria musica, quindi nonostante Berklee bisogna per forza fare un corso su Logic o su Ableton, lei lo consiglia comunque, perché saper produrre il proprio brano è cruciale e fondamentale per un songwriter.
So to give you a little preview of the 2 sessions I'm going to be doing, the 2 master classes, the first one, like I mentioned, the business of a song. That's the first, there's a couple steps to doing this. And like I said, it doesn't matter what genre you're doing it for, but you write, your first thing is, who is the song for? So you write a fabulous song, you do your object writing, you work with other people, or you don't, you do it on your own. Your song says everything you want it to say. It's done. You think it's done. What are you going to do with it? What do you want to do with it? So there's a few, I'm kind of looking at 2 different things. Let me know if I should stop, Nadia, at any point.
So, quindi bisogna studiare bene il brano, quindi no, scrivere un brano, si scrive un brano, si arriva che sia un brano completo, ma bisogna avere già in mente quale dovrebbe essere il pubblico di quel brano, perché lo stiamo scrivendo, per chi lo stiamo scrivendo.
Oh, now I'm seeing the comments too. Cool. Okay. So someone's using Cakewalk, Studio One. Yeah. Tons of great DAWs, digital audio workstations that you can work in. For the business of song, we won't get too much into the production. That's my second masterclass that I'm doing. But when you're deciding in that first step, who is the song for? It's, is it for you? Are you going to perform it live, solo, with your band? Or are you writing for another artist? So you might be pitching to artists. Another thing you might be doing is you're writing for film and TV placement. Maybe you're doing a combination of those things.
Quindi quando si scrive una canzone bisogna sapere per chi lo state scrivendo, se la state scrivendo per voi stessi, se lo state scrivendo per un'altra persona, magari per un film, magari per una pubblicità. Bisogna però avere le idee chiare sulla motivazione e sul perché si sta scrivendo quel brano.
Another important thing kind of at the beginning of the song, because writing the song is one thing, but it's really just the very beginning of a life cycle of a song. So if you collaborate it, so if you write with other people, if you've done a co-write, you need to have a split agreement in place. So there's a clear understanding of who owns the song, how much each person owns.
E se state collaborando con altri artisti, quindi magari un brano ci si può scrivere da soli, si può scrivere con altri artisti, bisogna chiarire subito a chi appartiene quel brano, quali sono le percentuali di diritti, chi prende che cosa, quindi prendere proprio le decisioni sul brano. E poi quelle che lei diceva prima, che il brano bisogna anche immaginare se il brano bisogna cantarlo live, se bisogna cantarlo sul palco, se lo volete registrare. Okay.
And I believe there's another masterclass that's going to be talking more of this, like PROs, right, Jason?
Yeah, Toki, okay. Our chair of professional music, is going to jump into that. Yep.
Awesome. So that will overlap all of these sessions now that I'm seeing are very much connected. You kind of need all of them. I hope that you all are able to come to all of the master classes because they're all interconnected. It's really important information to have. It just knowledge is power, right?
Spero ovviamente, Valerie, che potrete frequentare tutte le masterclass che abbiamo organizzato per quest'anno, perché sono chiaramente collegate tra di loro ed è fondamentale poter seguirle tutte.
So after you take kind of that first step and decide who the song is for, what is it for, you need to make a demo recording. And the type of demo, again, depends on who you're making it for. So if it's for yourself, are you making a demo recording that's so the other players in your band know how to play it or what to play? Even if you don't write all the parts, you might just have a demo recording of you and your guitar, vocals and guitar, and your players, musicians can figure out their parts.
Anche quando registrate la demo, pensate che cosa serve la demo. Magari la demo serve per insegnare le parti alla band, oppure la demo serve soltanto per far capire la melodia, quindi è voce chitarra, oppure la demo da mandare da qualcun altro e quindi deve essere completo.
If you are writing for another or if you're writing for yourself, also if you're creating a demo or an EP, a single, something that you're releasing to the world, then you need to decide, are you going to produce it, which I highly recommend, or are you making a rough demo to find someone else to produce it, someone that has a similar vision of you of where the song is going to go.
E se state facendo una registrazione e pensate per poter far uscire il brano, bisogna decidere prima proprio sulla produzione. Se avete intenzione di produrlo voi stessi, è una cosa che Valderi suggerisce di fare, consiglia di fare, oppure se avete intenzione di lavorare con un produttore esterno, ma deve essere un produttore che ti conosce come artista e capisce quali sono le tue esigenze e in che direzione vuoi andare.
If you are writing for another artist, you need to create a quality demo. You might be writing with the artist, but the demo has to be something that you know that they would want to record, or something that a similar style, probably the same key as the artist can sing it. So they
Se
can
stai scrivendo per un altro artista, tenete in mente che tipo di artista è, se il brano è effettivamente un brano adatto a quell'artista, sia a livello di genere, ma anche a livello di tonalità, essere sicuri che possa cantare quel brano.
If you're doing it for film and TV, it's got to sound super professional. If you're doing it for TikTok, social media, you need to know exactly that 15 seconds or however long you're going to have it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just basically, you got to have a great demo. So film and TV, social media, you need to know the length, you know, of it. If it's 15 seconds, if it's a minute, if it's got to sound really professional. And then just understanding like how the song is going to get produced. So again, is it full production? So these are the kinds of things that it's just a 60-minute masterclass in the business of a song. And it's an opportunity for you to bring your questions, like I said, about kind of what projects you're working on, or what you want to work on, and what is the process of doing that. Are you going to do a video for it? You know, a lot of the way that people get their songs out now is more visual than music sometimes, than just the music. The second
bisogna pensare non solo quindi alla produzione del brano, ma anche quel brano in che direzione dovrà prendere. Quindi se bisogna fare un video, spesso volentieri oggigiorno si usa molto visuale, no? Per un brano, proprio per poter trasmettere le nostre emozioni.
The second masterclass I'm doing, and both of these masterclasses are on September 29th, I believe. So the second one is also 60 minutes, and it's focused specifically on production. Again, this will overlap in from Sarah's class as well, her arrangement class.
Quindi sarà anche la seconda masterclass, sarà proprio sulla produzione musicale e si troverà ad intrecciarsi un pochino anche con la masterclass di Sara, quindi appunto di seguirle tutte insieme.
So I just want to ask you all a question, and you can put the response in the chat. What was the last song that you heard, or maybe a song that stuck in your head?
Voglio farvi una domanda. Qual è l'ultima? Sorry, I cut you off before you
that's okay. That made you feel something. Was the second half, not just the last song you heard, that made you feel something, a strong emotion.
Qual è l'ultima canzone che avete sentito, che vi è rimasto in testa, che vi ha suscitato delle emozioni, un brano che vi ha lasciato effettivamente qualcosa?
So yeah, what emotion and why? So if you can just put in the chat a song that really made you feel something.
Potete scrivere anche nella chat il titolo di un brano, qualcosa che vi ha lasciato qualcosa.
And especially since I probably won't know the song if it's an Italian song, then let me see if I can. Yeah, thank you, Jason, for writing that in. So what was the last song that you listened to that really made you feel something? Okay, I say Mitski's song. Awesome. Someone Like You. That's 𝗬𝗂𝗶𝗵𝗵, right? I Will Survive. Yes. Oh, these are some good songs. I'll make a playlist real quick.
Right. To Be With You, Mr. Big. Yep, that's a good tune.
Yeah. So, yeah, keep them coming. Rage Against the Machine. Oof. Lady Gaga. Yes. So as you're thinking of these, what I want to hear also is what is it about the song that made you feel something? Sometimes, like I listen to a lot of music in other languages, and I don't actually know what the lyrics are saying. And I'm like, this song's amazing. I'm going to go rule the world. I have like no idea what people are saying. So
che cos'è della canzone che vi emoziona? e non necessariamente deve essere il testo, perché io ascolto tantissima musica straniera e non capisco effettivamente la lingua, però ci sono delle parti del brano che comunque mi danno emozioni.
So are there any, so I saw one Rihanna, her voice is powerful.
Can
So
you see all the comments?
I can
Valerie?
see the comments. Some of them are in Italian. Hallelujah, guessing is
Jeff Beck, I would imagine it was
yeah, and
let's see, all by myself, Man in the Mirror.
Michael Jackson. So some of these, so tell me why.
Ditemi perché avete scelto questi brani?
What specifically? Okay, so someone wrote the guitar parts, the energy.
Qualcuno ha scritto le parti delle chitarre, l'energia della canzone.
It's a powerful. I'm reading the ones in English. Sorry, I'm kind of biased because I can understand it. The harmony of the song, the melody,
lyrics and the music together.
Yeah. So one of the things Sarah was talking about, for those who heard, is prosody. And that is a huge thing in production, just as much as it is in lyric writing and melody.
La melodia è fondamentale sia nella produzione che nella creazione del testo e della melodia.
The other, so prosody, again, if it's a new, because I kind of think it's a Berklee concept, but it's really matching the music to the lyrics, to the meaning.
Potrebbe essere un concetto Berklee, ma è quello di prendere la musica e matcharla insieme al testo, quindi che il testo e la musica possono effettivamente viaggiare insieme.
So when you are producing something, when you're choosing which instruments to put on, when to have the breaks, what is the kick drum rhythm, that all has to do with what is the emotion you're trying to get across to the listener.
Quindi quando state lavorando sulla produzione, state dicendo le chitarre, oppure quando deve entrare la batteria, oppure quando c'è una pausa, tutto questo contribuisce poi all'emozione del brano.
So I see a few people that are saying the way the singer sings it, the delivery of the song, that is your production. You're going to want to support the vocals, support the lyrics. And if it's a powerful singer, even if it's not actually any singer, but if they need to be emoting, you as a singer, as an artist, need to be emoting, giving the emotion while you're singing the words, the lyrics.
È chiaro che il cantante deve poter dare le emozioni mentre canta, quindi sfruttando la propria voce.
So we're going to be talking about this. I feel like it's going to be way too short of a master class, having 60 minutes to talk about producing a song, but hopefully I'll see you all in my classes in Berklee.
Spero di vedervi poi, che sicuramente 60 minuti non basteranno, quindi spero poi di incontrarvi di persona a Berklee.
M&M for life. Riccardo, I agree.
Riccardo, sono d'accordo, Eminem a vita.
These are great artists. So what I would love for you to do to prepare for my sessions and the master classes, just so you can get the most out of it. The business of a song, the life cycle of a song. I would love for you just to think about who you want to write for. What are you writing for? Obviously, you as a songwriter, a lot of us are writing kind of as therapy, like for ourselves, just trying to, to either share what we feel or just get that emotion out.
Prima di vedere la mia masterclass, vi chiedo di pensare al brano che state scrivendo, per chi lo state scrivendo, pensate a quel ciclo, il ciclo della vita di quella canzone, qual è il ciclo che dovrebbe avere e qual è il lato business di quel brano.
So for the business classes, but beyond that, beyond the song itself, think about who you are writing the songs for, the songs that you're going to release, the songs that you'll either play live or release on an album. Are you going to be writing songs for yourself? Are you going to be writing songs for other artists? Are you going to be writing
se
songs
questi brani saranno per voi stessi, se saranno per altri artisti, se avete intenzione di portare questo brano su un palco, se avete intenzione di rilasciare e creare un LP per la produzione.
For the production class, the other master class, I want you to really listen to songs. Like listen, I mean, if you're anything like me, you're listening to your favorite songs over and over again anyway. but I want you to listen to the songs and figure out why you love them so much. Is it the rhythm? Is it just the singer, or is it what's supporting the singer? Is it the lyrics that you're connecting to deeply?
Un altro compito che voglio che voi facciate è prendere quel brano di cui siete innamorati, riascoltare quel brano e capire effettivamente quel brano come mai vi emoziona, qual è la parte che vi emoziona, è effettivamente la voce o è l'arrangiamento oppure se è la strumentazione. Quindi pensate e analizzate quel brano che amate.
And listen for how the production, the instruments chosen, the rhythm, the groove, the background vocals, how do they move you? Do they move you? And how? So be really specific. You can even write down.
Il ritmo, il coro dietro, le seconde voci, l'armonizzazione. Cercate di capire proprio nello specifico quali sono le cose, le parti di quel brano che vi emozionano.
And you can even make a short playlist, and we can discuss some of those songs in the, or just some of the examples in the masterclass.
Potete anche fare magari una piccola playlist, così possiamo poi vederli insieme durante la mia masterclass.
And if you're at the point where you're producing your songs, or you're going to be producing your songs, or maybe start thinking about what sound you want for your production, what kind of artist you want to be, if that's what you're going to do, make a short, like 5 to 10 song playlist that represents some of that sound that you like.
E se voi vi state già producendo o state pensando appunto alla produzione, cercate di capire che cos'è che volete poter dare con la vostra musica, quindi poter effettivamente prendere dei brani che vi rispecchiano come genere, come personalità, come messaggio da poter trasmettere. Quindi anche lì un altro playlist dei brani che rispecchiano effettivamente quello che sei tu come artista.
So if we have some time, I mean, we have a couple minutes. Does anyone have any questions they want to put in the chat? Nadia has been so great about translating.
Se c'è qualcuno che ha qualche domanda da fare adesso a Valerie, potete scrivere, visto che abbiamo ancora un paio di minuti con lei, e magari riusciamo a farle qualche domanda. Let's see. Okay, this girl said that she's self-producing. She's using her vocal coach as a guide, and she's arranging the song with the producer.
That is so good. Yeah.
And someone else saying that he's writing a song for Ukraine, but he needs, what does he say? Mi serve aiuto, cosa dovrà fare? He needs help on how he can help interpret better in his own music. Let's see.
Does interpret.
Per me stesso interpretare,
There's a good question there about, how do you start? Is it the text?
They're asking, how do you start? Do you start with the lyrics first or the music first?
Oh, oh man, I've been writing songs for like 20 years, so I have gone through every possible way of creating a song. I mean,
scrivo canzoni da 20 anni, quindi ormai i metodi li ho provati tutti.
I'll tell you, I started really getting into writing, by writing letters back and forth to a friend. And I grew up in New Jersey, and she was in New York City. And we wrote letters back and forth to each other. And that started my journaling. So
hai iniziato a scriverla letteralmente come se fosse un diario, scrivendo delle lettere con un'amica dove uno stava nel New Jersey e l'altro nel New York, e per comunicare tra di loro si scrivevano, e così ha iniziato il suo diario di bordo.
So when I first started really turning that stuff into songs, it was really about the lyrics, really writing first. And I think it's important though, even if you're doing that you don't get too sold on your lyrics before you have the rest of the music written, to have them kind of happening at the same time.
Dici che sono entrambi importanti, che per lei chiaramente il testo e le parole erano fondamentali, però poi si rende conto che chiaramente la produzione ha lo stesso valore, quindi bisogna fare attenzione e non affezionarsi troppo alle proprie parole per non permettere di cambiare, di fare un'evoluzione nel brano.
As I continued writing and got better at guitar, and I was writing a lot and gigging a lot, I had a band, I've got, it's really easy to get stuck in ruts. So I would try to write on instruments I didn't know at all. So it would get me out of a different place. And same thing happened when I started producing. So production and beat making, you can see my Ableton push over here. That brought me into like another realm of music and got to like a different side of my brain where I could come up with different ideas that it wasn't just my same like chord progressions on the guitar.
Il beat making gli ha permesso di giocare di più e a utilizzare suoni e strumenti che non conosce bene, che non conosceva bene, che gli ha permesso di andare un po' fuori out of the box, fuori dalla scatola per poter scrivere e tirar fuori altre idee.
There are so many great questions. I don't know why I thought, I'll just, leave.
Yeah. You're opening up a huge Actually, I'll go to this one here because I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because this is like a big question for anybody that's a songwriter or composer. How do you know when the song is done?
I was looking at that one too. Depends who you are. So I do have to say, I don't think it's done when you put down the guitar after you just, or stop playing piano. You're like, there you go, verse, chorus, bridge, out, got it, done. No, I would say you can be like Bob Dylan and you could release a ton of songs. And then when you go to play them live, you rewrite the lyrics and then the song's never done. I would be really unsatisfied that way. So, and I'm not as prolific as Bob Dylan, but I would say I feel like, well, I have different versions of songs. So I have songs on my albums and then I go to play them live and they're totally different if I have a live band with me. So my stuff might be really electronic and I program the drums. And I have 60 layers of background vocals. I go to play live and I have two background singers and one drummer and me on guitar, So even then I don't know. I don't know if a song is ever done. I think it's just when you are like, this says, like lyrically, this says what I wanted to say. One time I was working on a song with a producer. This is another reason why I think you guys should produce your own stuff. I was working on a producer and another producer. He was like, you need a bridge for this song. And I sat there for like days trying to write a bridge. And I finally said, this song already says everything it needs to say. I don't need a bridge. Right. This is like, I got it in the verse and the chorus. So that was I don't know if that was an answer.
No.
Parlava del fatto che un brano, uno ha chiesto non si può finire un brano e i brani si possono anche finire ma sono in continua evoluzione. Se pensate a un Bob Dylan che quello che ha messo sull'album poi non ha nulla a che fare con live, che addirittura riscrive il brano e riscrive i testi. Lei non fa magari un cambiamento così drastico, però effettivamente dalla registrazione a quello che succede sul palco il brano può cambiare e cresce sempre, no? È difficile che si arrivi proprio alla fine. E lavorando con altri produttori, magari è successo una volta che ha scritto un brano e questo producer gli ha detto oh, ma il bridge non ce la vuoi mettere, e per giorni è impazzita in cerca di questo bridge, per poi rendersi conto che lei il bridge non lo voleva perché il brano già diceva esattamente quello che lei voleva comunicare e quindi ogni brano è diverso, ogni artista è diverso e questa è la sua risposta.
There are so many great questions, but I feel like Jason's about to say something.
We'll capture these questions because this is being videoed and everything's going to be stored. And maybe we can use some of this to kind of like to share with you, Valerie, prepare. And as we noted, everybody, we're doing this remotely. We'd love to be with you in person, and hopefully we'll be able to do some upcoming Tour Music Fest camps with Berklee, with Valerie and Sarah and Michael, Sean Harris, and hopefully Toki in person. But for now, just take the opportunity to get just this very surface level of information that these people are going to share with you, that Valerie is going to show to you, and use that as a gateway, a doorway for you to go and be curious and creative.
Great. Thank you all so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in my session, my master classes.
Thank you, Valerie. It's such an honor having you.
Yes, thanks for being here, and we're looking forward to your sessions. And everybody, please go to Valerie's website. You can go to Sarah's website as well, Michael Sean Harris's website. Learn more about them before they come and do their sessions, because that's going to help you, really take advantage of what they're sharing.
Yeah,
Jason, andate sui siti web di Valerie, andate sul sito di Michael Sean Harris, andate sul sito di Sarah Brindle, di Toki, ma proprio per capire meglio chi sono i docenti che avete di fronte, quali sono le loro esperienze e come potete sfruttare al meglio il tempo che passerete insieme a loro.
And my website is just my name, valerieorth.com. It's got the links to everything.
Super easy. valerieorth.com, quindi super facile.
Cool. Thank you, Valerie. Thanks for being here.
Bye. Thank you, Nadia, for
Thank you, Valerie. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah, so as Valerie said, all of this ties together.
Exactly. It all ties together.
Connected.
We need the last step.
And that's we're going to bring our chair of professional music on, and we're going to welcome 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright.
Yay, 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can see you.
We can hear you.
Ciao. Buonasera.
Ciao a tutti. Buonasera a tutti.
Il mio nome è 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright. Ho studiato italiano per 2 anni, ma è brutto.
Well, that was fantastic, 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Glad to be here. Well, I have some slides. I hope they work.
Ok,
Give him a
allora
try.
diamo bentornato a 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright, che 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright l'abbiamo conosciuto in Spagna nel 2019 mentre eravamo in tour per le tappe in Spagna, in Europa, e 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright è un musicista ed educatore vincitore di ben 2 Emmy Award e ha co-curato il mixtape di Watch the Stove per 𝗱𝗿𝗵𝗃 General Mills, vinto ben 2 volte il Clio e nominato a Callion. È con noi oggi e non solo ovviamente chair di production di Berklee College of Music e in precedenza era il capo del Dipartimento degli Stati Uniti, il primo programma di studi hip hop pienamente accreditato presso il McNally Smith College of Music. So let's give a big welcome. Diamo il benvenuto a 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright. It's so great to have you here. Last time I saw you, it was live. We were in Spain.
Yes.
And now we're here. Where are you exactly?
I am in the city of Boston.
Oh, you're in Boston.
And are you able to see my slides?
Not yet. Can you see the slide, Jason?
We can see you, 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃.
I can see you.
Yeah, so you have to pick the other screen.
You are sharing another application.
There we go. We got it.
It
There
looks
you go.
great. That's it.
Can you see me now?
We can.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Excellent. So I cannot see you. So if you are asking questions, you may need to say them out loud to help me out.
We'll read them to you. Nadia and I will
We'll read them to you
in
when
the
they come
chat.
along.
Yeah.
Excellent. So my name is 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Wright. Of course, I am here to talk about the business of professional music. This is being translated through Google Translate, correct?
Yes, correct at the
Okay.
moment. And I'll help, but you're speaking slowly, so Google will be fine.
Thank you very much. So these are some accolades and things about my personal achievements, and these all have happened over a course of time, over the span of a career that started with just wanting to create something of value for other people to listen to, and for me to feel some sense of worth and value as a creator. And having a creative side and having your ideas in your head are different than presenting them to the public. And in presenting them to the public, we also have to think about how they are going to be received, where your songs are bought and sold. And I want to talk to you today about your role as a professional, right? In professional musicianship, we are looking at you as an artist being a small business. So you are operating as a business, depending on what your business status is, how your business is structured. You are going out, you are selling your services for a fee. You are technically a business. If you're professional musicians are usually trying to make their primary source of income earned through some role in the music industry. And there are many roles in the music industry. And our job is to help you identify where you best fit. So at Berklee College of Music, I'm the chair of the professional music department. And ultimately what we're doing is we're taking artists that have multiple interests and helping them find the best combination possible so that they can learn all of the things that are necessary for them to get their idea from the page to the stage and out into the world. And this may look different for a producer that wants to also arrange music, or a American roots musician that also wants to manage their own tour. We come in different combinations based on our interests and based on the need that we see out in the world, whether it's in the music industry, or it's in your general community. In our department, professional music at Berklee, students are able to combine areas of interest, because we look at the world of music now and the way that things are being received, and what companies, venues are ultimately, etc., are ultimately looking for. They're looking for people that know how to do multiple things. So you know how to play an instrument, but what else? Do you know how to manage your budget, your finances? Do you know how to market and promote yourself? Do you know how to engineer your own songs? Can you score for a film? You know, it's not just about getting up on stage and playing your instrument. There's so many other opportunities available for you if you know that they're there to explore. So when we have our conversations, I always try to start by looking at your why. What is your purpose? Why are you creating what you create? What is it that makes what you do unique? And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, what is at the core of your decision making as an artist? Do you believe, are you creating music because you want to make money? Are you creating music because you want to speak to some social issue that's happening in the world, whether it's war, poverty, violence? Maybe you have a bigger goal and purpose in life, and you want to keep something at the core of your musicianship so that you can always go back to it when you lose your way. Any questions so far? I want to make sure I'm not losing anyone.
I think so far there's not any questions coming in the chat to share. I think you're doing solid.
No questions yet, and everyone's understanding you, so thank you, Toby.
Yeah.
Awesome. No problem. Whoop. I
They're
hit the wrong
following.
one. Are you still able to? Okay, excellent.
You're all set. Thanks, Turkey. Yeah.
All right. So, so where are your, so mapping, next we will talk about mapping your future. So looking at where you are currently and where you want to go. Do you, what are your destinations professionally? Do you want to perform locally, perform nationally, perform internationally? Do you want to sell 1,000 albums, 10,000 albums, 1,000,000 albums? Do you want to teach music? Do you want to have your music played in commercials or on television shows? Have you really thought about what those markers are for success, and what are the steps that you need to take to get to those landmarks? One moment. We will have conversation about the research that you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So you really need to study the industry that you plan to enter. Have you, or are there other people in your field that you can use as models for success? Who is someone that you deem to be successful, and what was their journey to success? And that may change from generation to generation, but there are some things that are at the core of being successful. You know, persistence, hard work, communication, team building, things like that. And then things like, how do I protect my business legally, financially, socially? So what do I need to have in place? What kind of paperwork do I need to have in place? What kind of financial safeguards do I need to have in place? What kind of social safeguards do I have in place? Because, you know, we live in a world where so much information is spread on a daily basis, moment by moment, that what you say and do in the public can impact and affect your business. Also in research, reading articles, watching interviews, taking courses, reading magazines and journals, and essays, and also having direct communication with people that you feel are successful, and surrounding yourself with successful people, and people that see your vision. It's very important to do that as you go through the process of researching. For this idea of team building, who's going to help you get your goals accomplished? So who are the people that you work with? Who are the people around you that help you get to your endpoint? And what are their roles and responsibilities? Do you need management? Do you need, and that's management for tours. Do you need stage management? Do you need content management? Do you need people to help with marketing and promotion, public relations, all of these roles and responsibilities? And if you can't pay for them, what are you going to take on for yourself? You know, in identifying what those costs are and being able to budget out what it might cost for you to achieve the goals that you are seeking. And also understanding that the best individuals are not always the best teammates. I was creating a band a few years back, and a good friend of mine who was a drummer asked me who I wanted to put in the band. And he said, and I named all of these individuals, and they were all the best players that I knew. And he told me the best players are not necessarily the best bandmates. So the best individuals are not always the best teammates. What you really want to do is create a group of people that are going to work hard, that understand your main goals and objectives, and that are going to stick to your why and know how to work with each other and know how to take leadership. So who are you, you know, whether it's your band or whether it's the management of your business, who are the best people to put in place that are going to work hard in the long term? We're also thinking about your music. How do you get your music out there? What kind of format? Is it digital? Is it physical? Are you making vinyl pressings? How long does it take for vinyl to come back after you send out your music to get pressed? It may take a month, 3 months for you to get your music, your vinyl back. If your album release party is in a month, that doesn't really make sense. And so making sure that you're setting timelines for yourself to get your music out the proper way. And think about your music in a recorded format versus live. You know, how do you present your music live versus how your music sounds on a number of streaming services? You know, how does your music sound on Spotify? How's your music received if you have snippets versus playing entire songs? You know, where does your music exist, either in the recorded world or in the live world? Are you performing? Where do you perform? Are you performing at concert venues? Are you performing outdoors? Are you performing in schools? And do you have music that is prepared for different environments? Think about your visual aesthetics. What does the stage look like? What does the cover of your album look like? What colors do you wear when you're on stage? Is there a certain font that you use for your logo? Are you also using that logo font in the text of your liner notes, or on T-shirts, or on other things that you're selling, that other pieces of swag that we call it?
I'm just going to jump in for a second, 𝗬𝗃𝗃. This is amazing. I'm just going to help a couple kids that are asking for a quick translation. Quindi 𝗬𝗃𝗃 qui sta parlando ovviamente che essere un artista è come essere avere una propria ditta, no? Che sia un business, e l'essere artista e capire come dobbiamo fare per essere un artista. Ci sono tantissimi aspetti. In questo momento qua bisogna prendere in considerazione ogni aspetto della nostra musica, e in questa istanza qua sta parlando del formato della registrazione, se sarà una registrazione digitale, se invece vogliamo registrare il vinile, se stiamo facendo sul vinile quali sono i tempi di consegna, ci servono produttori che lavorano sul palco, ci servono persone che lavorano sulla copertina, ci sono persone che servono nel marketing, mi serve un manager per il social media. Quindi bisogna effettivamente prendere in mano la propria vita come se fossimo una ditta e analizzare ogni aspetto del nostro essere artisti. Okay, I think that was a very rounded up translation, but they got it. So we're fine.
Thank you. So not only how you market your music, because there are different types of marketing. There's inbound marketing and there's outbound marketing. There's the marketing that drives people to you, and there's a marketing where you have to go out into the world and bring people into your business, and making sure that you have different types of ways that audiences can access you. Thinking about distribution. What distribution services do you use to make sure that your music is heard by the audience that you want to hear it? So, for instance, if your audience is young, if your audience is between the ages of 16 and 19, you want to make sure that your music is available in places where people from that age range are listening to music. And that may be free streaming services, or that may be subscription-based streaming services. But for the most part, most young people, at least in the United States, are getting their music for free online. And that is going to impact your money. If people are listening to your music for free, what are the other ways that you are going to be able to survive as an artist?
Oh, absolutely. Quindi diceva adesso che chiaramente quando pensiamo al marketing del nostro brand, come stiamo, come stanno ascoltando la nostra musica? La stanno ascoltando su piattaforme a pagamento o li stanno ascoltando su piattaforme gratuite? I ragazzi giovani negli Stati Uniti stanno ascoltando la loro musica gratuitamente in streaming su YouTube, e quindi anche noi bisogna pensare quali possono essere le altre fonti di guadagno, se il guadagno non sta solamente negli ascolti di streaming, o come i ragazzi effettivamente si avvicinano alla propria musica.
And I'll go through these last slides pretty quickly. I know that we don't have much time left, but you want to think about, what is your story? That's your bio. And how are you pitching your story to potential supporters? So what do you want people to know about you and your business? And what is the short version of that story, also known as an elevator pitch, in case you run into your favorite artist or a manager or someone from the industry that can help you? Are you able to talk about what you do and present it in a way that is easy to receive quickly? Can you, for instance, I was on a flight yesterday with a reggae artist named 𝗵𝗄𝗃, and he didn't look like he wanted to be bothered at all, so I left him alone. But if I wanted to create a relationship with that person, and I know that they don't want to be bothered, what is it that I would say in 15 seconds to catch this person's interest? Also, with your pitch, can you easily direct people to find your music? If I was having this conversation with 𝗵𝗄𝗃 and I said, hey, I have a perfect song I would love for you to hear, here's where you find it. What's the quickest way that I can get that potential supporter to hear what I create in the best format possible? Through aspects of the legal aspects of your business, how are you developing your professional relationships, looking at contracts and deals, looking at your business structure. And I'm sure the business structure is going to be different in Italy than it is in the United States. But if I'm doing a partnership or I'm running a corporation, there are different tax implications that you want to think about at the end of the year. You want to think about copyright, copywriting your music, or if you're sampling other people's music, or if you're making covers of other people's music, you have to know the legal ramifications of doing so. Also, if you are publishing music, you're creating music that you are putting out into the world to be used in commercials, film, television, at games, things like that, making sure that you get paid for your original works. Marketing with promo, creating campaigns, doing press releases, understanding social media and finding the best practices to get people to your social media. Physical assets like flyers, posters, swag like t-shirts, keychains, hats. Your business cards, are your business cards digital, physical? These are all things that you want to think about. Your customer base or your fan base, who's supporting your business? How do you maintain relationships with your supporters? How do you build your support base? How do you grow your fan base? Who are your sponsors or investors? Or how do you get endorsement deals? And in the generation of income or making money, where are you making your money? Who do you have to pay? How many band members are looking for something? Is that from performances? Are you making money from selling merchandise, either in person or online? Are you doing general business or corporate performances where you might perform at a business luncheon, or you might perform at a wedding? And do you know what music to prepare for different environments? Do you know how to negotiate for your ideal price point? Are you thinking about having sales for your music? Should you make your album $10 or $9.99? Because they look different when people see it on paper. Are you bundling your album with other things like a t-shirt or a ticket to your album release party? Are you crowdfunding getting multiple people to support your project before it comes out to help pay for it? Do you understand licensing when you do license your music? Whether if a commercial, if some car company decides that they want to buy your song to be in their commercials, are they giving you a flat fee of, I don't know, $10,000, or are they giving you a percentage every time that commercial is played? So those are a lot of different ideas to start thinking about.
Just a few, just a couple. A couple of notions.
Well, I mean, 𝗬𝗄𝗃, this is obviously, as the chair of professional music at Berklee, your goal, your responsibility is to really expose the students with whom you're working to this panorama of things that they need to be aware of. And then within the scope of that, there might be things that they focus in on more than others. But having the awareness is that all these things exist is important, right?
Yes. You may decide at the end of the day, all I really want to do is play my instrument.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Potreste decidere alla fine della giornata che l'unica cosa che volete fare fondamentalmente è suonare la vostra chitarra, però qui si tratta di tante cose di cui bisogna essere a conoscenza, che esistono, che influiscono sulla nostra musica, che influiscono sul nostro successo, e su quello è come la nostra musica può andare avanti.
You want to understand as much as possible. I'd rather you understood more and decided to do less than for you to understand less and want to do more, but you can't.
Sarebbe meglio comprendere di più, ma non riuscire a fare troppo e fare meno, piuttosto che fare meno senza comprendere che esiste di più.
I'm sorry.
And one of the things I just wanted to touch on that was really interesting is this idea of a team. That it really takes a group of people that you trust to create these experiences, because there's just too many hats to wear.
Yeah, yeah.
È importante l'idea di creare una squadra, perché altrimenti una persona da solo ha troppi capelli da dover indossare. Invece la squadra è fondamentale per la nostra crescita musicale.
And in that team building, you may decide that there are two main people that are doing the majority of the work, and you really just need these other people to supplement and help you, the two main people. It's not always about having this huge team. It's about knowing what services you have to do on your own, what services you are going to have done in kind or voluntarily, and those services that you need to pay for. Because if you really want to make it as a musician, money needs to be spent.
Yes.
Se volete farcela come musicista, comunque i soldi andranno spesi, quindi ognuno deve capire che cosa effettivamente, di che cosa non ha bisogno perché può farlo da solo, dove invece bisogna effettivamente investire sulle capacità di altri.
I think this is what makes what you teach in your area at Berklee, what you teach, so incredibly interesting, is it helps those people who are really working on their musicianship or their writing skills to like have that more complete skill set exposure so that they can actually take the next step forward.
And in that process, you have to be careful, because you don't want to lose your creativity, and you don't want to be so focused on the business aspects that it takes away the love and the passion that you have for the music. So it's important to put the right people in place that give you the space to create and do the thing that you love and that you're passionate about.
Cool. Nadia, you're muted.
Unfortunately, it's time for us, because I think that someone automatically cuts off somewhere, so I don't want anyone to get cut off mid-phrase. But 𝗬𝗄𝗃, it was amazing to see you again. And I can't wait for our next lessons together.
Yeah.
And everyone, there are thousands of questions here. So we're going to get those all revved up for you. That way you have them and you know what kind of curiosities have come about during your masterclass. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Just great having you.
Thank you, Tony. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for being part of this again this year.
Glad to be here. Good to see you.
Cool, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
So Nadia, thank you. This is incredible, and we're really looking forward to the sessions coming up.
Thank you. Allora ragazzi, io vi ricordo il nostro appuntamento dopodomani alle ore 21 con Paola Folli e poi nuovamente a settembre con Berklee. Thank you, Jason. It's always an honor and a pleasure being with you. And we'll be seeing each other soon.
Be well, everybody. Take care.
Ciao ragazzi, buona serata.